welcome to another brand new season of Discussions on the Couch. Here we are going to be talking about wellness, beauty, relationship, and everything that is trending. On today's discussion on the couch, we are going to be talking about red flags in relationship. My name is Comfort Ofori and I'm your host, and I'm doing this with
Japheth.
Japheth. You're looking good.
Thank you. You too.
You need to tell me your secret because the whole new, I actually like your suit and everything. It matches. Anyways, welcome to my show. When I invited you, you actually came and I'm so happy. Let's start with what red flag is. Like, in general, what would you say? What's your idea about red flag? What is red flag?
I think anything that's a red flag symbolizes a sign that alerts you to either run away or be careful of what you're going into or getting engaged to. So red flags in relationships are just any signs that tell you that you should be careful or not go into it.
Okay.
Or maybe even come out of it.
Any signs?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you give me some examples of like the signs? Is it danger? When you're talking about the signs, is it a dangerous aspect or the other side?
Yes, so those are danger signs. Those
Okay.
are signs. So let me say, those are negative signs. Yeah.
Negative signs. Okay, so what are some of the red flags that we see in relationship?
Okay, there are quite a number of red flags.
Okay.
That span from how one treats you to how one responds.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, they are in two forms. We have to do with reactions, how a partner reacts.
Reactions.
Yeah, to certain situations.
Okay.
And also how they act in certain situations. So it can either be an act or a reaction. And those give you red flags. For example, the way your partner communicates with you, or the way your partner responds to offenses.
Okay.
Those are signs. Now what happens is that these signs tell you or inform you as to whether you can deal with the person in the future or not.
Okay, so is it okay for red flags to pop up in relationship?
Oh yeah.
But then it's actually, when we enter a relationship, we are all looking at the good side, of course. Everybody is so always interested in looking at the bright side. I wouldn't like any red flags to pop up in my relationship, so I don't understand.
Okay. So when you see red flags pop up in your relationship, it's not like you have control over them. These
Okay.
are signs.
Mm-hmm.
Signs are supposed to be noticed.
Okay.
You don't control them. You can trigger them, but you don't control them.
Okay.
You don't determine whether they show or not. They are signs that you are supposed to notice, and those are supposed to help you make a decision.
Okay.
And you may not see the signs if you are not observant or critical, but when you are, you notice the signs. The signs could be positive and they could be negative, but when we talk of red flags, we're talking of the negative signs.
Okay, so in a case where I'm in a relationship and not everybody sees those things as red flags. Some people actually are into toxic relationship and then they don't even notice that that's a toxic relationship. So are you going to say that those people are also, they can't see the signs or?
So generally,
Okay.
red flags are bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
So not the good side, the bad side. Red flags
on
are
top of red flags, we are looking at the bad
problems.
side. But the issue is red flags inform you. So, for example, let's take two people let's take you and I.
Okay.
If you are a very reserved person, and I'm probably a very outspoken
I am a
person.
reserved person.
Are you sure? Okay.
Of course.
So you're a very reserved person, and I'm a very outspoken person, and we talk about communication. If you are unable to communicate with me in a relationship, for me it would be a red flag. But maybe for you, it's not much of a problem. But generally, not being able to communicate well is a red flag.
Okay.
Now, the other thing is red flags are signs. but the extent to which the red flags glare at you determine whether you can go forward with the relationship or not.
Okay.
All the red flags are telling you is that this person has an issue in this aspect.
Needs to solve
the question is, can you deal with it?
Okay.
Can you not?
Okay.
So those are supposed to help you make a decision.
Okay.
So there are certain red flags. Person A would be okay with moving forward in the relationship. Oh, it's not a big deal, I can handle it. Person B goes like, this is a very big deal for me, I can handle it.
Okay.
For example, if you take a relationship and then one partner is very sapiosexual, and then the other partner is dumb, that relationship will not go far, no matter how handsome the guy is.
Okay.
No matter how.
Yes.
At a point in time, because being intelligent for the person is a very critical part.
Yeah. I mean, every guy
nice,
wants a lady who is intelligent. Yes.
Yeah.
Why did you say? Because to my side, I know every guy.
Everyone would want, but not everyone can deal with the absence of it.
I don't understand.
So what I'm saying is, let's take a lady.
Okay.
Every guy will want a very beautiful lady.
Yes.
But if you take an average lady, there are some guys that would be okay with an average lady.
Okay.
And some guys will not be okay with that. Or let's take the whole intelligent thing. So let's say there's a lady that's beautiful, not intelligent. Some guys are okay, provided she's fine. He probably just wants a home wife and all that, you know. Another person or another guy would have a very serious issue with that. He would prefer someone who is not beautiful but intelligent. So it varies from person to person.
Okay. Okay. So when all these things, so in a relationship where you find you perceive this red flags, what is the person, like maybe to both of us, what if maybe you're in a relationship and then there's red flags perceived or they are noticed, what are some of the things that I'm going to do in order to, you know, to make the relationship work?
Okay. So for me, essentially, it's a simple thing, or it's a straightforward thing.
Okay.
When we talk about red flags, there are negative signs. That's one. Two, in every relationship, every partner has to look out for the red flags. That's what informs you as to whether you can deal with the person in the future. The third point is, after identifying the red flags, the question you should be asking yourself is, can I deal with it?
Okay.
And that should help you make a quick decision.
What if you cannot deal with it, but you want to be in the relationship?
Now there's the management part of it. So you give yourself a period.
Okay.
Let's say 3 months, 6 months. And what you're doing is you're speaking with the person. These are the red flags I've identified with you. Is there something you can do about it? Can you work around it? You give the stipulated time, look at your partner to work around it. There are some red flags
that cannot be controlled.
That cannot be corrected. There are some that can be worked on over time. So within the time frame you've given yourself, at the end of the day, you assess yourself. Has your partner been able to change, adjust? You need to also understand if your partner is just pretending or acting. Because a lot of the times, those red flags may be suppressed, but they will come back in the future. So usually when you see the red flags, you just need to quantify them, identify them, and make a quick decision.
You know, every relationship, there's problems. There's red flags. And if I see this red flag in my relationship and then I cannot deal with it, but I still want the person, how can I leave? I have to deal with the red flag. I have to.
So it's a simple decision. That's it. That's what we are saying. So we're on the same page.
Okay.
It's a simple decision. This is a red flag. It's not going anywhere. So it's up to you. If you decide to stay in it,
okay,
then you should be ready to do
Okay.
it.
So Jay, have you been in a relationship where at a point have you been in a relationship where you had just red flags? Like,
I have been in just one.
Just one relationship. So how did you go?
I saw the red flags.
Would you mind telling us some of the red flags?
It just seemed a bit toxic because I don't do well with quarrels. But it kept
so
coming.
you were the tame one and she was the aggressive one?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I had mentioned, think this is your temperament or this is your nature. I really can't deal with this for too long. Can you work on it? I gave heads up. And then I said, one day you'd wake up and I won't be here. And this is the reason. It didn't stop, and one day I wasn't there. That's simple. Because I knew I can't deal with it in the future, so I won't waste your time. But in another case, if I was ready to deal with it, then I would have stayed with it. Because it didn't look like something that was going.
Didn't you feel like you didn't really put much effort? Maybe you were too quick. Maybe you could have at least waited for some.
Like I said, the question is, listen, it's a simple thing. There's a red flag.
I don't want to agree with you, but then I have to agree with you.
The question is, are you willing to deal with it or put up with it? In my case, I was not willing, so I step out. If you're willing to, then you stay.
Pardon me?
Have you been in a case like that?
Oh yes, I have.
So
and actually, I stayed. I wanted to work it out. I wanted to keep working. You know, we have people that they take long to change. Yes, we have people who take that.
People don't really change entirely.
But then at some points they change.
People suppress things. People don't really change.
People don't really change? Why are you saying that?
So what I'm saying is, people have temperaments.
So now you are linking it to temperaments.
Yes, people have temperaments. People have a natural nature. Now, you can change, but there's still going to be traces of it.
Okay.
So people can change, but the underlying trace would be there. That's why I say people never really change. If the environment is good for them to change, fine. But for a lot of the times, people are unable to change.
Hey, Jay, are you sure?
I am sure.
Okay, so well, for my side, I actually tried and then it worked out. Yes, it worked out. So
that's one of the cases where people have changed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yes. All right.
And at least in your case, maybe the residual effect, or at least that those red flags you have not entirely disappeared, but they have depreciated a lot. That's why you say they have changed. You get it? So like I said, you give the person time to adjust. If the person can change, fine.
If the person cannot change,
you advise yourself.
Okay. So what are your final words?
So my final words are, for every relationship, you need to look at for red flags. Red flags would usually glare in your eyes, but you need to be observant to identify them. Once you identify them, the next thing is give yourself time to address them. If they can be changed, adjusted, fine. After the time frame you have given yourself, the last question you should ask yourself is, can I deal with these red flags? If it's yes, you're good to go for the future. If it's no, the earlier you come out, the better.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was nice having you.
What are your last words?
Okay, so to you all out there, red flags is definitely going to pop up in your relationship. So all I have to tell you is just be ready for it. And then, as Prof J said, you can only handle red flags if you are ready to deal with it. Yes, if you're not ready to deal with it, or if you're not ready to change the person, then I suggest that you come out of it. Yes. So thank you so much. Yes, thank you for staying with us. Once again, this is Discussion on the Couch. Thank you so much. Until then, bye.